Hey, peace. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, give honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Give it the ones to 7130 South Chicago that taught me this truth. And give it the ones to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has walking in these last days. With that being said, peace and shalom. All right, brothers and sisters, I want to go into another discussion today. You know, we still kind of building off of the first discussion that I had. I was a little bit tired, so I just did a 30-minute joint. But this one, I'm going to try to do a little bit longer, right? So as I was saying in the first video, you know, these nations are basically at a fast collision course with one another. Every time that you look around these nations, they are at odds with each other. They sign peace treaties. They don't keep the peace treaties. Then they go to war, and then they sign other peace treaties, and, and so on and so on. And what's happening is, if people can't really understand and notice, what's happening is the Creator is judging the leadership and the masses of the nations is because, in retrospect, we're not following the rules of the Most High. And to our credit, most of us don't even know the rules of the Most High because we have all come under the jurisdiction of the Babylonian mystery system. See, and what has happened is, this thing is so crazy that even certain aspects of the Bible is not according to the word of Yah. See, but in retrospect it is. And what I mean by that is, the Creator said that these things was going to happen, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to hit some scriptures, and we're going to expound on what's going on. And furthermore, most of us that live in the country, see, we think that America is going to win all the wars, right, that they have placed themselves in. But see, like I said before, the Creator said in the book of Psalms, the 75th chapter, and I think it's the 5th verse, basically the Most High setteth up nations, and the Most High bring down nations. And see, what we're looking at is the downfall of America. See, believe it or not, this is the downfall of America. So let's look at something. It says, 30th chapter, book of Ezekiel, and I'm going to start reading at the first verse. And it says, the word of Yah came again unto me, saying, Son of man. See, the first son of man was Ezekiel. See, it's because Ezekiel was a representative of the Most High. See, because Ezekiel spoke of the destruction of different kingdoms, and also Ezekiel spoke of the destruction of the Babylonian mystery system. See, Ezekiel spoke of these things. And see, the modern day Ezekiel of today is really the nation of Israel, because see, we're the ones that's able to go into the history and to decipher what the Creator is saying in today's times, right? So it says, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith Yah Elohim, how ye, right, woe worth the day. See, because what does woe mean? Woe means destruction. See, anytime in the middle or towards the end of the Bible you see the word woe, see, woe means destruction. And this is what we're looking at when we see the events that's taking place on the world stage with these nations going back and forth. Now, America is invading or trying to destabilize. See, because they're not necessarily invading these countries a lot of times with boots on the ground. They're destabilizing the countries. They want to destabilize the government. They want to destabilize the people so that they can be at odds with one another. Because some of the big boys that deal with, that rule the world, they understand that if you fund both sides of the war, the last one that's standing, that you're funding, these are the people that you're going to control. See, so a lot of times you will have these Iranians or different people from other countries that have, I don't know, I don't live there, but they have a gripe against the government. See, a lot of times these people will be used against the government to take it down. See, and a lot of times the leadership are they are very smart in doing these things. This is called rules of engagement. Like when you pay off different people to do your bidding in the country so you can have a foothold in the country. So what am I saying? I'm saying that one of the ways that America is trying to take down Iran is causing what you would call civil unrest in the country. See, they're causing civil unrest in the country, meaning that they are using different fractions of Iranians that don't agree with the ideology or the policies of the people that's in power today in order to take them down. So a lot of times, man, you have quote unquote traitors in the country that go against the country in order to put themselves in power. See? And in retrospect, like, this is one of the ways that America was built, is because George Washington was a traitor to Britain. When he came over here, he wanted, what's that? They was considered the renters, and Britain was considered the landlords. So you had the renters fighting against the landlord to control the land. See, so a lot of some historians, they call George Washington and a lot of the people that fought in the Revolutionary War, they call them traitors. It's because they went against the crown in order to do what? Empower themselves. And see, that ideology, that mentality is going on even to this day. See? So what I'm saying is that America is using a lot of these different people to come against their own country. So when we talk about World War III and things of this nature, this thing is going to be global. It's not just going to be fought in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. See, this is going to be a global war, is because all these nations are fighting against one another. The allies of Russia and China, and the allies of of America and certain parts of the EU. Because believe it or not, brothers and sisters, you're gonna have people in the EU, they're gonna break away from the union. See? They're gonna break away from it. So it says, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith Yael, how ye woe worth the day. For the day is near, even the day of Yah is near. And see, when they talk about the day of Yah, they're talking about what? Death and destruction, brothers. That's what they're talking about. See, this is what the Creator is talking about. The day of Yah. The day of Yah is gloom and doom. See? A cloudy day. It shall be the time of the heathen. Just like I just said. See, when it's talking about the time of the heathen, a heathen is a person that is against the Creator. See, they're not following the laws of the Most High. See? And everything is ruled by laws. You know, me and my elder was talking for a brief second, and he was telling me that why you don't think that we're not flying in the air is because there's laws that's in place to keep us on the ground. See? So the creator, one of the aspects of the Creator is that he's ruled by what? Laws. He established laws. And what the human family is doing is we're not following the laws of the Most High. Like I said before, I'm going to always say this. You're going to know a man of the Most High or a person that is obedient to the planet on how he treats people, and on how he treats people. You can't be a person. America loves to brag. The leadership love to brag about how they are a Christian nation. But look what they do with the food. See? Is that godly to put all these chemicals in the food? Is that godly to destroy the air on purpose because you want to extract all the natural resources out of the ground? See? Is that godly? So, in order for you to know a man, you got to see how he interacts in the earth. So when the Creator says, what? For the day is near, even the day of Yah is near, a cloudy day, it shall be the time of the heathen, meaning that what? This is judgment time. These nations, they have done a great disservice to the earth, man. These people was running around. I'm talking about these Christians and these Muslims. They was running around talking about God told them to enslave other nations. The Jews, when they was financing the slave trade, God told us this. Because the other nations are what? Goyim. See? And the sword shall come upon Egypt. And who is modern day Egypt? That's who? That's America, y'all. Because America is the beacon of light of what? Global white supremacy. This is what America represents. And anybody that sit around here and talks about that it's okay for America to go to another country and invade a country, right? Set up propaganda on television to give them a right to go to another man's country and kill off their leaders and set up new leaders. You are white supremacist. Even if you're black, blue, or beige, or orange, you have a white supremacist mentality. And this is what's going on. And the sword shall come upon Egypt, and a great pain shall be in Ethiopia, when the slain shall fall in Egypt. And they shall take away her multitude, and her foundation shall be broken down. Because, see, back in the day when we was talking about Egypt and Ethiopia, see, these were, quote unquote, the black nations that was in power. See, a lot of us talk about Pan-Africanism and all this, the black man rule. Why is the black man not in power anymore? The black man and the black woman, especially the black man, is because he's the head, right? We're not in power anymore. It's because we broke the laws of the Creator just as well. See? The white man is not the first person to break the rules of engagement of the Creator. It was the black man. This is why the entire black species is under servitude under these nations, is because we failed to live up to the responsibility that was bestowed upon us by the Creator. So when it says, and the word shall come upon, the sword shall come upon Egypt, and great pain shall be in Ethiopia, when the slain shall fall in Egypt. See, symbolically, when we're talking about Ethiopia, because, see, those people are not in no type of power anymore, right? Them people ain't in no power anymore. So who is that talking about? Who are we talking about today? It's the other nations that have grappled under the mentality of America. See? So when we're looking at countries like Ukraine, all the countries that have allied themselves up under America is going to be what? They're going to be destroyed. See? They're going to be destroyed. They're going to meet the same fate as America has met just as well. You know, there's a term that people use. They say, laugh now, cry later. So it says, and the sword shall come upon Egypt, a great pain shall be in Ethiopia. When the slain shall fall in Egypt, and they shall take away her multitude, her foundation shall be broken down. Why? Her influence, her power. See? Because before the Creator break you down, a lot of times he breaks down your influence amongst the nations. He breaks you down amongst each other. Look at us today, right? Look at the people today. I'm talking about the people over here in America. They're fighting amongst each other. The police department does not get along with the government. I mean, with the mayor and stuff like that of the states. It was a time back in the day when they did. They was all in one accord. See? They used to pay the police department to be down on poor blacks, poor whites, poor Hispanics. See? Especially poor Hispanics and poor blacks. and they was all implicit, putting Trump charges on each other, on black people, black and brown people. You know, putting Trump charges on black and brown people. Right? But now, up on the different leadership and stuff like that, they started to do what? They started to fight against that mentality. So now you see that the police department and the mayor, a lot of times they be at odds with each other. Because the mayor, you know, he doesn't want to fund the white man pushing his racism amongst the inhabitants anymore. He can't do that anymore. So when we talking about when it says, and a sword shall come upon Egypt, and great pain shall be in Ethiopia, when the slain shall fall in Egypt, they shall take away her multitude, and her foundation shall be broken down. See? Because these are the nations that have aligned themselves with America. Because symbolically, Ethiopia is really talking about, of today, the nations that are a part of what you would call the melting pot of Egypt, y'all. See, who is a part of America? We're talking about the European Union. See, all of these nations, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, all of these countries, they're going to be broken down. Because, let me hit you with something. Iran is not going to continue. They're not going to stop making developing nuclear weapons. They're not going to stop doing that. Because all of that's under the behest of the Creator. So let's look at this. It says Ethiopia and Libya and Lydia and all the mingled people with Chub and the man of the land that is in league shall fall with them by the sword. Because why? Like I just said, they was all in league with Ethiopia. See? Who is the spiritual Ethiopians or modern day Egypt today? It is what? It is the Europeans, y'all. We see on the dollar bill. The all-seeing eye, because the all-seeing eye represents who? Nimrod, y'all. So when we're talking about Ethiopia, Libya, and Lydia, we're talking about what? The nations that have eaten off the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, y'all. Thus saith Yah, they also that uphold Egypt shall what? Fall. God bless America. This is the mentality. Donald Trump trying to create what you would call MAGA, make America great again. And the conservatives and some of the liberals, they trying to fall suit to this mentality. Donald Trump coming in putting tariffs on countries. Countries aligning themselves with America to fight against, to continue the mentality of bullying other countries. That mindset is going away. These people, they don't care about, they're not afraid of you anymore. See? Russia and China is fighting against their own people, and they're doing what? They're funding other people of the war. because they're building themselves up militarily. One of the reasons why America wants to take down Iran is because Iran is a major stronghold that is funding other global so-called terrorists that's fighting against Israel and their constituents that's in the region, y'all. So let's look at this. It says Ethiopia and Lydia and Libya. Let me read that over. Ethiopia and Libya and Lydia and all the mingled people and Chub and the men of the land that is in league shall fall with them by the sword. It says, thus saith Yah, they also that uphold Egypt shall fall. Because, you know, America is modern day Egypt. So it says, and the pride of her power shall come down from the tower of Cyrene, shall they fall in it by the sword, saith Yah power. And they shall be desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate. And her city shall be in the midst of the cities that are wasted. And that's what's going to happen when America is destroyed by nuclear weapons, y'all. And the other countries, they're gonna meet the same fate. After this nuclear war that's going to happen, there's only going to be so many countries that's probably still be on the scene, but they're going to be devastated, man. See? But America's going to be in ashes. Canada is going to be in, a lot of these countries is going to be in ashes. And they shall know that I am Yah when I have set a fire in Egypt. Because Egypt is symbolic of what? Bondage. Because who's in Egypt? See, who's in Egypt? The nation of Israel is in Egypt. And the countries that was living deliciously with Egypt is that's symbolic of the other countries that have done what? They have made millions, billions off of the transatlantic slave trade. And when all her helpers shall be destroyed, in that day shall messengers go forth from me in ships to make the careless Ethiopians afraid. And great pain shall come upon them, as in the day of Egypt. For lo, it says, for lo, it cometh. Selah. Shalom.